This is exactly why I've always been a Nolan hater. I've made a lot of videos talking about Nolan and how I don't like him as a character. The Invincible fandom is so annoying that if you don't mention that you read the comic or every line, then they're gonna just be like, you need to get there in the comments, blah, 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 blah. This exact moment in the comic books, which I read, is why I don't like Nolan and I never trusted his story. So let's talk about it. Right now, just spoilers for the show, but I'll get into spoilers with the comics in a second. Clear that Nolan's going on a redemption story, and you know what? I'm not here for it. It's beautifully written, let me say that. To me, all of his actions always felt disingenuous because at the end of the day, Nolan always benefits from him doing something good. There are rare instances in the comic books and in this show where he does stuff just out of the goodness of his heart. And honestly, I just want to say at the ending of the comic book is when we actually see him do anything good. By then, he's gotten everything that he's wanted, so like, who cares? So let's talk about his decision to align with Alan. It can easily be read as him becoming friends with Alan, gaining a soft spot for him, and then deciding to aid in him because he didn't want to see his friend die. Then Nolan reveals that there aren't that many Viltrumites left, that they are dying off. It recontextualizes him deciding to align himself with Alan, who clearly is stronger than the Viltrumites. Nolan is now in a position where he can not only be the hero for Earth, but he now has someone who can help him take over the little Viltrumites that they have. He's ready to fight back because he knows that he has in his arsenal things to help him fight back. This is not a selfless act. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers for the comic book, so if you haven't read it, it's time for you to dip. Even at the end, where we see Nolan sacrifice himself for the greater good, it is hard for me to see this as this like selfless act, more so like redemption. By this time, Nolan has gotten every single thing he's wanted. His little pet back, children are thriving, and he is now the leader of the Viltrumites. Him going to war against Thrag was in his self-interest. When he sacrifices himself, that's all in line with his morals. So I never felt like anything Nolan has done has ever been genuine. And honestly, it's even worse in the show. His actions are way worse. We're seeing Debbie get autonomy. Please let the record show that I always been and will always be a Nolan hater. Recognize his character is incredibly written, but I will never give this man his propers. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.